What's going on, Panthers Nation? It's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk, bringing you another Panthers video, and got some news and updates going on, man. It's a weird time. This is coaching hiring season. All the vacancies of head coaches in the NFL have officially been filled, but we're not here to talk about the Brian Flores situation or any kind of Rhule minority talk. We're here to talk about the assistants, because when the head coaches get hired, they start doing the next steps to fill out their full staff. Obviously, we got the head coordinators, but you also have position coaches. But for the Carolina Panthers, they're in a weird spot. We know that Matt Rhule fired some assistants earlier before the process kind of for all the head coaching spots was completed. So he had time to look around. We know we settled on Ben McAdoo and Campin for our offensive line positions. However, some news really came upon the Panthers as they lost two position coaches just the other day. So in this video, we're going to talk about what that exactly means for the Panthers team, the staff, and the future going forward. We're starting right now. On everybody, and I start off every video by saying what up, dude, and let me introduce myself again. I am Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. On this channel, I do recap analysis of these Carolina Panthers and the whole NFL. So if you don't want to miss any videos about the updates that's going on with the team in this crazy offseason that we're about to have, and obviously with the draft, free agency pending within the next 5 to 6 weeks, you got to make sure you are subscribed and hit the button down below along with the bell icon that you get notifications for all. Because if you hit all, you're not going to miss any videos, because sometimes YouTube, they just play hating, man. They don't always send out notifications and updates to subscribers. So the only way to make sure you get everything is to hit the bell icon and say all, because you don't want to miss anything that's going on this off season. And I'm going to bring you the news, updates, and takes on it. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. Also, thumbs up. Give the video a thumbs up, please. It only takes a second and doesn't really cost you a thing, and it helps my video out in the algorithm, gets the word out to other Panthers fans. They can join in on this conversation, and we can laugh together, cry together. Whatever happens in this offseason, we'll be ready for. We have to do it together and stay together. So make sure you like it to help me out. But hey, real quick, down below in the comments, let me know how you feel about these coaches leaving. What do you think it means overall for the team with some of these guys leaving for other jobs? Let me know down below. So the Panthers already had a vacancy at the defensive line coach position coming into yesterday, but they ended up filling it. They named longtime OG coach Paul Pasqualone Pepperoni. I don't know his last name, how to pronounce it, no disrespect, but he's like 72 years old. Apparently he was around when football was invented, when it was actually a round ball and before they had face masks. I'm just joking, but this guy is old. He spent some time, obviously, in the college level, spent some time as a defensive coordinator in the NFL at certain levels too, 10 years of experience. So once again, you see the pattern of Matt Rhule going with guys that may be a little bit unprecedented, because there's weird sentiments about Matt Rhule around the NFL and football world, but they also have some kind of background in NFL, and that's the thing that I'm happy to see, because maybe Matt Rhule's learned his lesson, or maybe somebody kicked him in the butt and just say, hey, get some guys that know what they're doing. Get some adults in the room that have experience at this level that can help do the things you need them to do. Matt Rhule should have did this from the jump street instead of hiring all of his homeboys from Baylor and Temple to come and round out his staff. Now you're looking with egg on your face and you're on a hot seat, and now you have to go back and try to get these guys with experience. Nevertheless, we had the D-line coach that was filled. However, it seems like what always happens with the Panthers, as soon as you plug one hole, two more leaks come up. Wide receivers coach and defensive backs coach are open. Wide receiver coach Frisman Jackson actually left the Panthers, but not for a promotion. He took the same position with the Steelers, which is very weird. Normally you don't see assistant coaches make lateral moves. Some people say it's not a lateral move because the Steelers are a better organization with better coaching. I get it, but the title is lateral. Like, why would you leave one job you had a receiver coach at and go for another one? Really makes you scratch your head, because do these coaches around the league start to see the writing on the wall that Matt Rhule is just a lame duck coach and they need to jump out while they're getting good, take the opportunity? And what are even the dynamics for interviewing that? How do you put the word out like, hey, we have an opening for this position? I thought that was pretty much illegal, but I'm learning stuff every day just like you guys. Nevertheless, Frisman Jackson was one of the Baylor, not disciples, but one of the Baylor loyalists that Matt Rhule brought from him from the college level. And to see him jump ship, that really says something. However, the biggest surprise for me was defensive backs coach and defensive assistant Jason Simmons. Now, Jason Simmons, the writing on the wall was for him to leave anyway. He interviewed for the defensive coordinator position for the Denver Broncos. Obviously, they're filling out their staff, but that's a defensive coordinator position. That's a big promotion from DB coach to defensive coordinator. You can understand, nobody's going to knock him for that. However, he ended up leaving to go to the state in the same division, but to go take the same position with the Raiders. And that's what makes me really scratch my head, because the Raiders have Josh McDaniels, obviously, as their head coach. They're in a weird spot with everything that's going on, obviously, with the off-the-field stuff, change of coaches, the Gruden controversy and all that, moving to Vegas. There's a lot of things going on and moving parts for the Raiders organization. So for Jason Simmons to leave the Panthers and go to the same type of position for a different team, it really makes you wonder. And I really like Jason Simmons. This guy has a ton of experience. He coached with the Packers for a long time. Apparently, he was like the special coach for Jeremy Chin, since Jeremy Chin did so many things from a defensive back perspective and linebacker. He was like the personal coach for Jeremy Chin and helped kind of coach him along. We saw the impact Jeremy Chin had last year at linebacker. And as he was transitioning to DB, you could see him also make plays this year. He didn't make as many splash plays, so people in the common public just thinks Jeremy Chin had a bad year. But he really had a solid year overall if you look at the tape and look at the film. And part of that has to do with Jason Simmons. So I'm curious to see what happens with our secondary with Simmons moving on when it comes to Jeremy Chin. But like I said, a lot of these coaches are starting to see the writing on the wall. It is year 3. It's make or break for Matt Rhule. Some people maybe not believe in Matt Rhule's message, so they're getting out while the getting is good. That's what the old country's saying, get while the getting is good. But I always thought I was curious about these guys leaving, especially last season. Remember last year's season, I thought it was pretty peculiar about Marcus Satterfield leaving. The most peculiar thing is this guy's a white guy named Marcus, but that's neither here nor there. But he ended up being an offensive assistant line. He was an offensive line assistant coach here to Pat Meyer, oh Lord. But he left to take the offensive coordinator position for South Carolina. And I thought, okay, our offense wasn't great. Why would guys like that leave? Not to mention Jeff Nixon actually interviewed for the Vanderbilt offensive coordinator position last year also. He ended up staying. Obviously, they ended up going a different direction. But I just thought that last year, I just thought it was one-off, like guys use Matt Rhule to kind of get to the NFL level, get their foot in the door. We've all taken jobs that may not be the best, but it looks great on your resume to go for your next position. So I get that. But now it's becoming a pattern with multiple guys leaving, and not just for college positions and promotions at the college level, but it's lateral moves in the NFL. So I just think the NFL public and the masses are starting to see the writing on the wall when it comes to Matt Rhule. And it has to not make you feel good if you're Matt Rhule, but it also makes you uneasy as a Panthers fan, because if people see this on the outside looking in, how's that going to affect free agency? You know what I'm saying? How's that going to affect the locker room with players respecting certain players? You know what I'm saying? So those things are big, because the position coaches really have the biggest impact on the team than you know, because whoever's offensive coordinator, whether it's McAdoo or Phil Snow, they don't have time to be in every team meeting with every position. They don't have time to break down every little bit of everything. They use their staff to push things along and get the best out of those guys. And if you're continuing to lose guys, it can hinder the development of some players. So that's not a good sign overall. So we'll see how everything plays out. You guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about these coaches jumping ship from the Panthers. Do you think you agree with me that it's pretty much the writing on the wall? Everybody sees it and they're just getting off a sinking ship, jumping off the Titanic before it sinks? Let me know down below in the comments. But without further ado, I'm Aaron Duncan signing off. I'll see you next time. Peace.